Hello and welcome to KLM Institute.
Today, we have an important and somewhat controversial topic to discuss. USA deports 250 Indians, 20,000 still awaiting deportation. Trump's action or retaliation. This story has been making headlines recently, and it raises several questions about immigration policies, international relations, and the broader geopolitical implications of these deportations. In recent news, the U.S. used a military transport aircraft, specifically a C-17, to deport a group of migrants to India. This is significant because it marks the first such deportation flight to India since the Trump administration ramped up its crackdown on illegal immigration. The flight departed late on Monday, expected to take at least 24 hours to reach India. The exact number of deported migrants hasn't been confirmed, but it's believed to be around 130, the maximum capacity of a C-17 aircraft. So, why is this such a big deal? Well, it's part of the broader strategy by the Trump administration to enforce stricter immigration laws. Under his presidency, the U.S. government has increasingly relied on military resources to implement its immigration policies. For instance, the U.S. has used military aircraft to deport migrants to countries like Guatemala, Peru, and Honduras. But India, that's a first, and it's raising eyebrows given that India is geographically farther from the U.S. compared to the usual destinations for these deportation flights. Is this a retaliation against trade or a geopolitical move related to BRICS? You might be wondering, is this move part of a larger strategy, perhaps related to trade tensions or even retaliation against BRICS nations? India is a key member of the BRICS group, which also includes Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa. These nations, particularly China and India, have often found themselves at odds with the U.S. over trade practices and policies. While there's no definitive proof to suggest that these deportations are a direct retaliation for trade issues, some critics argue that U.S. immigration policies, like this one, could be used as a tool in broader diplomatic negotiations. One thing is clear: these deportation flights are part of Trump's ongoing effort to enforce stricter immigration controls. The U.S. administration's crackdown on illegal immigration has included not only deportations but also tougher border security, including deploying troops to the southern U.S.-Mexico border. The Trump administration's hardline stance has sparked controversy and debate, especially when it comes to the use of military resources for such operations. For instance, the cost of military deportation flights is no small matter. A recent flight to Guatemala, for example, cost $4,675 per migrant. Critics have raised concerns about the ethics and cost-effectiveness of using military aircraft for deportations. Some argue that the focus should be on addressing the root causes of illegal immigration, like poverty and lack of opportunities, rather than relying on enforcement alone. The human angle of deportation. But beyond the numbers and policies, there's a very human side to this issue. Deportation is a life-altering event for those involved. Many of the individuals being deported have lived in the U.S. for years, building their lives, working, and even raising families. For them, being sent back to India can be devastating. As per U.S. officials, over 1,100 illegal migrants from India were deported between October 2023 and September 2024. The last publicly acknowledged deportation flight carrying Indian nationals was on October 22, with about 100 individuals on board. India has expressed its willingness to cooperate with the U.S. in handling the deportation of Indian nationals who are in the U.S. illegally. However, the Indian government has made it clear that it will only accept these individuals after verifying their nationality. This cautious approach is a reflection of the complexities involved in these deportations, as some migrants may not have proper identification or legal documentation to confirm their nationality.
India, we have made this clear earlier as well. We are against illegal immigration, especially because it is linked to several forms of organized crime. For Indians, not just in the United States, but anywhere in the world, if they are Indian nationals and they are overstaying or they are in a particular country without proper documentation, we will take them back, provided documents are shared with us so that we can verify their nationality, that they are indeed Indians. If that happens to be the case, then we will take things forward. We'll facilitate the return to India.
The cost and efficiency of deportations. Now, let's talk about the cost. Using military aircraft for deportations is expensive, and many critics argue that this money could be better spent addressing the underlying causes of illegal migration, such as poverty and lack of education in home countries. The U.S. has spent millions on deportation flights, and this has raised questions about the efficiency of such measures. Is it more effective to focus on enforcement, or should there be a stronger focus on improving conditions in migrants' home countries to prevent illegal immigration in the first place? Both the U.S. and India have been cooperating closely on the deportation process, with Indian authorities showing support for the repatriation of nationals who have overstayed their visas or entered the U.S. illegally. However, it's crucial to acknowledge the growing numbers of Indian nationals being deported, with a steady increase in the last few years. Addressing the root causes of illegal migration. But deportations alone are not enough to solve the problem of illegal migration. There's a growing recognition that both countries need to work together to better inform potential migrants about the risks involved and the legal pathways available for migration. Many migrants fall prey to human smugglers who exploit vulnerable individuals with false promises of a better life in the U.S. This makes public awareness campaigns crucial, especially for young people who are often targeted by these illegal networks. Moreover, both countries are aware that more needs to be done to address the root causes of migration, such as poverty, lack of job opportunities, and political instability in migrants' home countries. Working together to provide better economic opportunities and cracking down on human trafficking are steps in the right direction. The future of U.S.-India relations and immigration policies. Looking ahead, what does all this mean for U.S.-India relations? Both countries have a shared interest in tackling illegal migration, and their cooperation on this issue reflects their broader commitment to strengthening bilateral ties. However, the challenges involved in deportations, especially when they involve human lives, mean that both countries must continue to find a balance between enforcement and humanitarian concerns. As we conclude today's update, it's essential to remember that immigration issues are complex, and behind every deportation, there are real people with real stories. The debate over Trump's immigration policies will likely continue, but one thing is clear: the use of military aircraft for deportations is a significant development that has far-reaching implications, both for U.S.-India relations and for the lives of those involved. So, what do you think? Is this deportation move purely an immigration policy decision, or is it linked to broader trade and geopolitical factors? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis on global developments. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged with KLM Institute.